No, listen, because what's going to happen here when they say wa Kalimatuhu, it's not meant that Jesus is the direct word of God.
Wait. Ooh. Say that? No. Okay, fine. You can go to tafsir.
Okay.
But we are taking the Quran for what it says, just like in 112 verse 1, it says Allah is one. It says Allah is one.
I can't talk to you about that.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, but so if you don't want, we can pass it.
Okay. Now you're learning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The word Kalimatuhu is composed of two parts, kalima, which means word, speech, or statement, and hu, a possessive pronoun meaning his, referring to Allah. However, nowhere in the Gospels do readers find a single statement from Jesus that is not divine revelation. In fact, the very be, kun, remained within him in every miracle he performed. Don't believe it? Let's look at just 3 examples. Then Jesus touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, be it done unto you." Matthew 9:29. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour.
في البدء كان الكلمة والكلمة كان عند الله وكان الكلمة الله.
Jesus is a prophet, but God.
Okay, I understand you, but
let me
prove what you want to say. I'm going to ask him, yeah. Okay, where's the proof?
Okay, that's a Quran, okay?
Okay.
And he said that he's a word. What is a word?
His word.
Yeah.
Word of God.
Yes, okay. So what is word?
Here, word is translated as kun, fayakun, because the same as Adam. See, now you're just changing the interpretation. Are you going to say is that
I am asking you that.
I think a better question, guys. A better question is Allah word eternal or is it created?
No. I'm asking a question.
Yeah. So you asked them to prove to you that Jesus is God even from the Quran, right?
So you're asking, is that direct word of God eternal?
I'm asking, is the word of Allah?
I'm just
asking, is Allah's word eternal? It's just simple.
Yes, Allah.
Okay, so Jesus is identified as Allah's word, right?
See, the problem is when we understand
is Jesus Allah's word?
In QS 359, the Quran indeed states that Adam was created through kun fayakun, be, and he was. Indeed, the example of Jesus to Allah is like that of Adam. He created him from dust, then he said to him, be, and he was. However, in QS 4171, Allah does not describe Jesus as a result of kun fayakun, but instead refers to him as Kalimatuhu, his word. If Allah intended to emphasize that Jesus was merely created by kun fayakun, then this verse should have mentioned the same phrase. But the fact remains, there is no mention of kun fayakun in QS 4171. Why does Allah use a different term for Jesus compared to Adam? The answer is clear. Jesus is not just an ordinary creation.
How do we understand these?
I'm just asking simply, is Jesus Allah's word?
It's not in the same way. Okay, see, because the problem happens in interpretation.
That's fine.
No, listen. Because what's going to happen here, when they say wa Kalimatuhu, it's not meant that Jesus is the direct word of God.
Wait. Ooh. Say that? No. Okay, so.
Do you understand what I said?
No. That's fine. I mean, we can play these little language games. That's good. So, all right. So you said Kalimatuhu, right? What does that mean? Translate that for me.
His word.
His word, right? Thank you so much. Now, who is his word?
They're trying to say
who is his word, brother?
Who and the damir, the pronouns return to Jesus here.
Thank you so much. So Jesus is Allah's word, correct?
No, but the thing is, you're doing a direct translation.
That's what the Quran says, does it not?
Do you speak Arabic?
I don't, but I love that you guys do.
Okay.
All right, like for example, do this for me. Do this for me. Translate chapter 112, verse 1 for me.
I don't have that memorized.
Which one? Chapter 12.
Where it talks about Allah is one.
Pull out the verse. I'll read that and translate that.
Chapter 12 is Surah
Chapter 112. Chapter 112, verse 1.
Okay.
Yes, translate it word for word for me.
Say that he is Allah.
That he is one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you just translated it word for word.
Yes,
does it mean what it say?
Yes.
Okay,
but
so
now we need to go back to
wait, you need it. All right, fine. All right, stop. Wait, let's take it slow, step by step. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to show you an example. I got you. I just wanted to wait. You gotta look. We gotta, bro. In a conversation, we have to give and take.
Let me ask you one question.
But hold on. I'm making a point.
Okay, make the point.
Thank you, Zaire. All right, so just like how you was able to translate that verse word for word.
Yes.
You can do that in the Quran, but so don't say that that's not how you do the Quran. You translate it word for word, and you had no problem doing it there. So now that we translate,
So wait, you
now that we
you actually
translate
chapter 12.
chapter 112, verse 1.
112, okay? So he didn't translate the whole thing.
He did. He literally did. No, verse 1. That's all I asked for.
Listen. So basically,
That's all I asked for.
You said because in one part of the Quran, I translated it. You can translate everywhere else.
That's one example that I showed you. No, because this is what you said in response to me. You said we do not translate the Quran word for word. That's what you said, brother. I'm not misrepresenting you.
Muslims often say do not interpret the Quran word for word, especially when discussions touch on Jesus as Kalimatullah, the word of Allah, in Surah 171. However, this claim contradicts how Islamic scholars themselves understand the Quranic text. Classical exegetes like Ibn Kathir, al-Tabari, al-Qurtubi, and others frequently analyze the meanings of individual words in the Quran to grasp their full context. If Muslims themselves rely on linguistic analysis, how can they reject this method when it comes to Jesus as Kalimatullah? Example of tafsir, Quranic exegesis, that analyze words individually. Tafsir al-Tabari on QS 339, Yahya affirms the word from Allah. The word here refers to Jesus because he came from Allah without a father. This proves that Quranic commentators associate Kalimatullah with Jesus' unique existence, rather than merely a kun fayakun command. If word-for-word interpretation is not allowed, why do Islamic scholars themselves practice it?
You paused. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll stop. Go ahead.
Listen, just because I did translate it doesn't mean that I'm going to tell people listen to my translation. All you ask for a translation. Of course, if you ask for an Arabic translation, I'm going to go. But for example, now you ask for the word quru in the Quran. What does that mean?
I didn't ask for that.
No, I'm asking you.
What?
What's quru?
I don't know Arabic.
So qar, for example, here has two different meanings. Okay. And now, how do we understand it? We're not going to go literally translate it because in this context, you have to go back to the hadith and what the scholars said.
No problem.
Okay? Even in Qul Huwallah, I directly translated it, but I didn't say that take my direct translation. I'm still going to go back to it. Let's see, look into it.
Okay, thank you. Are you finished? Because I want to respect your time.
Yes.
All right, cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and all right. We can interject as long as we let each other finish. Okay. All right. So you was able to give me the direct word-for-word translation of 112 verse 1. Now all you're saying is I translated it word for word for you. However, don't take my interpretation of what I translated. Okay. All right. Boom. Now let's move on to the previous argument. I asked you to translate what Kalimatuhu means, and in that verse, how it identifies Jesus as Allah's word. Now, all you're saying, all right, so all you're saying is now we need to interpret what that means, right?
We have to go back to tafsir.
No. Okay, fine. You can go to tafsir. Okay. But we are taking the Quran for what it says, just like in 112 verse 1, it says Allah is one. It says Allah is one.
I can't talk to you.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, but so if you don't want, we can pass into.
No. Okay. Now you're running.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The word Kalimatuhu is composed of two parts, kalima, which means word, speech, or statement, and hu, a possessive pronoun meaning his, referring to Allah. In classical Arabic, kalima is not just a mere command, but something with substance, meaning, and power. Therefore, Kalimatuhu literally translates to his word, the word of Allah, signifying something that directly originates from him rather than being merely a spoken command. When we examine the Quran, we find that the term Kalimat is never used to describe a being created through kun fayakun. For example, in QS Al-Kaf 18:109, the Quran states, "Say, if the sea were ink for writing the words of my Lord." Here, Kalimat refers to the infinite and unbounded word of Allah, not to a created entity. Similarly, in QS Yunus 10:64, the Quran declares, "There is no change in the words of Allah," emphasizing that Allah's word is eternal and unalterable, whereas all creations undergo change. In contrast, QS An-Nisa 1640 describes the process of kun fayakun. Indeed, our word to anything when we intend it is only that we say to it, "Be," and it is. This verse explicitly outlines the mechanism of divine command for creation. However, when speaking about Jesus in QS 4171, the Quran does not state that he was created through kun fayakun. Instead, it directly refers to him as Kalimatullah, the word of Allah. If Jesus were simply a creation like Adam or any other being, the Quran would have used the same terminology as in Surah 359, where Adam is said to have been created through kun fayakun. But the absence of kun fayakun in Surah 4171 and the unique designation of Jesus as Kalimatullah strongly indicate that his nature is distinct from that of other created beings. This raises an important question. If Jesus were merely a creation through kun fayakun, why does the Quran never call Adam or any other being Kalimatullah? The answer lies in the very essence of what Kalimatullah signifies, something directly proceeding from Allah himself, not merely the result of a spoken command. However, nowhere in the Gospels do readers find a single statement from Jesus that is not divine revelation. In fact, the very kun, remained within him in every miracle he performed. Don't believe it? Let's look at just 3 examples. Then Jesus touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, be it done unto you." Matthew 9:29. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, "O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt." And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Matthew 15:28. And he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, "I will, be thou clean." And immediately the leprosy departed from him. Luke 5:13.